President Uhuru Kenyatta and the ODM party leader Raila Odinga received the Building Bridges Initiative report last week. And after they received the report, the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, his allies, and Musalia Mudavadi embarked on a journey of calling for a consensus over the report. And Kenyans believed and thought that Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were going to give consensus talk a chance. But from all indications, that's not going to happen. Yesterday, Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta met with members of parliament, over 300 members of parliament, drawn from both the Senate and the National Assembly in Naivasha. And during that meeting, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga and the members of parliament agreed to escalate the process to the next level. So basically, the allies of the deputy president were locked out of that meeting. And the mere fact that they were locked out of that meeting was a strong message to William Ruto and his allies that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are keen on escalating this process to the next level, without their input. So today I want to pick out a few things which I observed during that particular meeting. But before we do that, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. What we do on this channel, Makwiny, is that we analyze politics. We analyze politics in a way you cannot find anywhere else. So just take a second or two and click the subscribe button. Now back to the main issue. President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, the House leadership led by majority leader at the National Assembly, Amos Kimunya, majority leader at the Senate, Samuel Pogisho, the minority whip at the National Assembly, Junet Mohammed, the minority leader, John Mbadi, at the National Assembly were both present. Over 300 members of parliament were present. So what message were these guys trying to send out? In my view, I observed four things. The first thing I observed is that President Uhuru Kenyatta was actually sending a strong message to his deputy William Samoei Ruto that is going to take charge of the Building Bridges Initiative process. Remember, William Ruto and his allies have always termed the Building Bridges Initiative process as Beba Baba Ikulu, Blue Band Initiative, and all sorts of things. And they've always believed that it was actually a project of Raila Odinga. And for the first time, the president came out openly and met with members of parliament. And if you observe the pictures when James Orengo was reading the resolutions of the meeting, one thing was clear, that the president was there watching, standing to the left of James Orengo, and Raila Odinga to the right of James Orengo. And both of them were watching James Orengo and listening keenly to James Orengo reading the message. So basically, the message which the president was sending to his deputy was one, that I'm now going to take charge of this initiative. So I'll be waiting to see how the allies of the deputy president are actually going to behave in the next few days. Because already, Kipchumba Murkomen has dismissed the resolutions of that meeting. The deputy president has not talked. And we all know that Kipchumba Murkomen is the legal advisor to the deputy president. Moses Kuria revealed that he was a subject of discussion at that particular meeting. So he was alleging that the president told those people that he was going to make sure that he was going to do everything possible to ensure that Moses Kuria does not come back to parliament. So basically, the president was sending a coded message to his deputy that is going to take charge of that process. So from yesterday, moving forward, it is clear that Uhuru Kenyatta is now the leader of the Building Bridges Initiative process. And remember, according to the timeline which were issued there, it's going to take a very short time. We are going to have a referendum probably latest by June. So which means only 6 months from now. And Uhuru Kenyatta is going to take charge. The second thing I observed is the fact that Building Bridges Initiative process is actually a product of the handshake. Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga entered into handshake in March 2018. If Building Bridges Initiative is going to fail, it's going to be a failure of that particular handshake. And that's why Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were there physically to talk to the members of parliament. Let's just be factual and look at the members of parliament who attended that meeting. The members who attended that meeting are all pro-handshake. Anybody who is opposed to the handshake was not invited to this meeting. That's the reality. So basically, the president and Raila Odinga are now taking charge. They want to deliver a handshake project. And that one handshake project is the Building Bridges Initiative process. And I want to assure you, Raila Odinga has indicated severally that he's not going to declare his presidential bid until after the Building Bridges Initiative. This handshake and the Building Bridges Initiative are intended to achieve a political objective. The third thing I observed is that Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga was sending a message to the deputy president and their allies that the door is already closed now. They closed the door for the Building Bridges Initiative. So they've decided that we are going to go with this team, whether they won't succeed or whether they will succeed. But the door has closed. The time for further negotiations is closed. That's why, if you look at the timeline for this Building Bridges Initiative process, it is very clear that the Building Bridges Initiative report plus bill submitted to President will take one day. That was on 21st. It ends on 21st. Then there is the official launch of the Building Bridges Initiative, which is 26th. And then a team was established to coordinate. The one minor commander was talking about over the weekend on 26th. Then, yesterday, they are supposed to start public outreach and signature collections, which is supposed to run for the next 30 days. So which means within the next 30 days, these guys are going to collect 1 million signatures. So basically, they are telling these guys that we are not going to take this further. And that's why the president was explaining to these people that at any given stage, he kept his deputy updated to an extent that the deputy president even recommended some of the names to this committee. But the president was surprised that this guy is now coming out to oppose the outcome of this process and also to dismiss a process where he was fully involved. And according to this thing, then they are going to prepare and submit signatures, which will take 7 days from 2nd of December. And then they'll submit the bill to the county assemblies on 11th. So from 11th, for the next 7 days, from the 11th of January, this bill is going to be submitted to county assemblies. And that's where the catch is. If the county assemblies are going to reject this bill, then it's going to mark the end of Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. And if the county assemblies are going to pass this bill, then it's going to mark the end of the deputy president, politically speaking, during this referendum thing. Remember, the Ekuru Akot bill, which was Punguza Mzigo, was failed by the county assemblies. It failed to garner the required numbers. In fact, it was humiliating defeat for Ekuru Akot to an extent that at some point he wanted to go to the courts. But the fact of the matter is that these guys are telling this guy that the door has been closed. So after that, county assemblies will have to approve it between January 19th, 2021. So by that time, it shall have been closed. Then Parliament will vote. Then we are going to hold referendum within the legal time frame, which will begin from April 6th. So it means between April 6th and the next 60 days, a referendum is supposed to be conducted. And then the president to assent to the bill after 7 days after the bill has been voted for. If it's rejected, then it's okay. So basically, the message these guys are telling these guys that the consensus you are talking about, we are not going to negotiate further. We are going to have a consensus internally. And that's why the members of parliament and senators who attended the Naivasha meeting talked of, if you listen to Orengo closely, he talked of certain amendments which were brought. I listened also to nominated Senator Isaac Mahura, who indicated that they were now pleased because their recommendations on disability were being considered and was captured by James Orengo in his speech. So the time for further negotiations closed. The fourth thing, which I can tell you for a fact, is that this document, the Bomas document, is going to be amended before it's published. And it's going to align to what I've always maintained on this platform, that probably the report which was submitted before Kenyans at the Bomas of Kenya was actually not the actual report. So these guys have listened to the views by Kenyans. They listened to the presentation by the deputy president at the Bomas of Kenya. They've studied, because Uhuru Kenyatta moves are actually informed by intelligence, what the intelligence are telling him. So they've captured everything. So they vetted people initiated discussions. So I'm sure at the end of it, they are going to to amend the documents to reflect popular opinion of Kenyans. And lastly, I think the president also used the occasion to express his disappointment by his deputy. Otherwise, why would he take his time to explain to members of parliament and senators how he reached out to his deputy, how the deputy president has always been updated, how he feels that the deputy president is now not taking this matter seriously, that now he has to come out. Of course, the image which came out of Naivasha, in my view, was not the right image. The president was a solo president. The principal assistant was actually missing. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. But again, in this Building Bridges Initiative referendum or process, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga must be very careful. It's normally easy to defeat a document like the one we are having, the Building Bridges Initiative. And the deputy president, in my view, is already laying an elaborate plan and strategy to defeat the document. Remember, the deputy president went to Central Kenya, and that's where he made the announcement that watu wakicheza tutaangusha. He didn't make that announcement anywhere. He didn't make it in Rift Valley or Nyanza or even Western. He chose the president's background, which is Nyeri, and he was very clear that wakicheza tutaangusha. So tomorrow in my next video, I'm going to dissect for you guys how the deputy president can easily stop the reggae which is being played by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. And for the first time, I don't know how you guys want me to introduce myself. I don't know how you guys want me to introduce myself. I receive a lot of complaints, compliment, and there are people who insist that I should actually take a bit of my time at the introductory part to introduce myself. I am Makwiny. I analyze politics. That's all. Impartially, without fear or favor or contradiction. And most people normally disagree with me. And I've also received a lot of queries about Norman Magaya. Norman Magaya, I stated here, and I'll repeat, is a very good friend of mine. When I was actively involved in ODM, that was in 2010, 2011, we formed an ODM lobby group, which was called the ODM Youth 2012. Norman Magaya was our national chairman. I was the national coordinator. So we worked very closely with Norman Magaya. And up to now, we still work very closely with Norman Magaya. So the only thing I can say on the Norman Magaya issue is that we can only help where we can. Because the ODM party is doing its best to help Norman Magaya. Raila Odinga has done his best for Norman Magaya. You all know that he was taken to India and the rest. I am also aware that James Orengo has played a big role in trying to help Norman Magaya. In fact, at some point, when Norman Magaya was taken to India by Raila Odinga, James Orengo gave them, because they went 3 people. There was Norman Magaya, there was a gentleman, I will not mention his name, and Norman. There were 3 people. They were given, James Orengo gave them his ATM, so they could use any time. So by the time they came here, I'm aware they used like almost close to 1 million Kenya shillings from that ATM. They were there for 2 months. So probably no man is weak, but it's going to rise because he's a strong man, I know. You know, when you are sick, you have been sick for like 2 years down. Yeah. You've exhausted the medical cover provided for by the party. Yeah. The amount of money you receive, most of it going for medication. The only thing you can do is those who can help Norman can reach out to him. Just through his inbox. The Twitter one. Just reach him out, ask him for his number. Unaweza mtumia M-Pesa there. But I know there are so many friends who are currently working around the clock to ensure that his health does not deteriorate further. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.